episode 49 of the Maude Flanders Internet Museum and Database. Today's cold open. Lobotomized Laurie Goodman has escaped and has been living with the Flanders family for a while. She essentially is just screaming all the time while the Flanders reluctantly deal with her. Rod is the only thing that calms her. And so subsequently, Laurie and Rod have been locked in a room full of rotting burrito so as to keep her quiet. The family doctor, Dr. Eggs, arrives, and Laurie sees him and flees with Todd in a wheelbarrow full of burritos after confusing the two. "I've got the wrong one," she shouts. Would you like to be Laurie, Maude, Ned, Dr. Eggs, or Willard?
I'll go for Maude and Dr. X.
Oh yeah, Dr. Eggs. His real name's Dr. Eggs though, but it's spell X. It's just...
So it's the letter X, but it's pronounced egg.
That's correct. And action. Hold on, who did we say? Who are you?
Maude and Dr. Eggs.
Okay. I am therefore Laurie, Ned, and Willard. Okay. Oh, doodly. Let's lock her in the room again, Maudlin.
Oh.
Yes, let's do it. Put her in with Rod. Rod calms her down somewhat.
Clink. Oh, doodly. I hope that she calms down doodly now that she's in that room full of rotting burritos with Rod.
What are you keeping those for?
That's all she eats, innit? But it was better to doodly make them all doodly in one big go. With Maude, Marge, Ka-ching, Flanders' cookbook, Ka-ching, Simpson's cookbook. From the other week, doodly.
Oh yeah, looking with a smile. Well,
It seems like she's calmed down, yes, doodly.
yes, it sounds a lot better. That's the good thing about Rod.
Oh, Dr. X.
Yes, Dr. Eggs.
Dr. Eggs. Ring.
Hello?
Hello, doodly. Is that Dr. Oogly Eggs? Doodly?
Yes.
Can you
Yes,
come
it is.
round spoodly, oodly, burritos?
I'll be there in a moment.
Doodly, Dr. X. Maudlin, can you show him to the room?
Let's see the damage. Oh, it is just over here. Have a look through this peephole. You can see them.
Oh.
What? He looks feral.
Oh,
He looks absolutely feral.
Pat.
What is he eating?
Chomp. Chomp.
This is a medical marvel.
Chomp.
Laurie. I think it's Maude.
Oodly. Let's open the door and let Dr. Eggs have a look at her. Oodly. Click.
That is a good.
Eggs.
Get her.
Eggs. Oh, Doodly, she's run away and she's taken Todd.
Goodman.
And she's taken the Oodly wheelbarrow full of burritos and Todd, and she's only gone and effing done Oodly.
Oh no, my sweet boy.
Chugga. Rod. Chugga. Rod. Todd. Wrong one. Wrong one.
Oh no, she's taking Todd, not Rod.
Oh, hello, line lady. What's wrong with you? Todd. Oh, young lady. That lady. Laurie. Willard. To be continued.
This is a medical mystery to Dr. Eggs.
Maude, it's a Maude Good cast, season 5. I, objectified by dirty next door neighbor and bar owner who'd be on her in a second. She's Maudlin, Jehoshaphat, Red, Amanda Stina, unspoken bond with Jasper. She's a foxy disco chick, foreground remand, Moldovan and flustered duck-faced smiles. She's got ruined apple pies. It's a rest in peace cast piece, cast spoiler, pre-spoiler, not yet. In there now, does she have it? The Maude Flanders Internet Podcast, episode 49. Can you believe it?
I genuinely cannot. Next week we hit our goal.
Next week we hit one of our goals, our first goal. So thanks for all your support, listener.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Guy.
But instead, enough messing around. So I've noticed that while we've been blowing all of Jeff's money on this space blackjack and space goldfish, what are Ergun and Envelope off to over there with their bloody sack full of cash?
Oh yeah, they're still with that tiny little man with his good fella's attitude. Let's go over to them now.
With our ears.
Here, take your money, Pesci.
I don't want that money.
That's what you wanted.
Oh yeah, give it me here. I'll never let her go. Oh, give it me first. Give me the money first.
Here, you can have this.
I'll never let her go.
Don't open the bag. There's not only money in there.
Oh, good Lord. Anyway, I'll never let her go. You've just blown and wasted all your money. But I'm just going to go over here now and check something.
Well, joke's on you, Space Pesci, you dickhead. Door's unlocked. Come out you with your eyes.
Oh, I'm so thankful for you for letting me out of that second bloody prison I've been in 2 weeks. I tell you what, sick and bloody tired of being in different space prisons. Anyway, bye!
You don't have to tell me about space prison. Those aliens did some unspeakable things. Well, she's gone, so that's that arc complete. I'm hoping. Let's run to the ship and fully off.
Hey boys, I know you give me a damn good duffing, but all's forgiven. Let's go off to meet Space Matthew Michael McConaughey. Come on, watchdogs. Come on, Ergun and Envelope. Ergvelope. Come on, Ergvelope. Come on, watchdogs.
Are we finally leaving this hellish casino?
Yeah, that's enough. I've blown all my cash. And I haven't slept for 16 days. God bless John Poop's monster shots. My back door's never felt so vibrant.
All right. Well, thankfully we're on the ship now. So, who's driving?
JP, I'm guessing.
JP went back to Earth like weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Envelope then. Me.
All right, bloody do it. Hello, Goodman Morning and Spooky Ginger's Descendant Clum. Did we do that one last week? Sounds like it, probably. Interdict a set of oxen nourishment, my gentleman and lady. Brought to you by Jeff Apples, Sunderland. The backwater has bellowed and snorted and scratched and hissed no more. Life isn't just about the cards you're dealt. The atmosphere and ambience is thick and fetid on this island. It's muzzled and blacked out, but fecund and fertile with an eldritch and macabre phantasmal miasma. Jeffrey, J-Dog, do we need to be all aflutter over this? All hail corporate imperialism. Sponsors, do you want to do one, or shall I do one?
I was just waiting for you to do one. We'll tag team them.
Okie dokie.
After you.
Sepco, septic bites. If it's red and swollen, we're on the scene. Intense pain and swelling, hot to the touch. Did a mosquito inject its saliva into your skin? Sepco, septic bites.
Peabody Vanderbilt, the richest man in the universe. He owns crystal pianos, floating beds, dead sharks in formaldehyde, and he lives in the Villa Leopolda. He has a gold-plated Bugatti from insurance.com. He has a diamond panther bracelet. He has the feather of a hula bird and a parking spot in Manhattan. Check out my privilege, silver spoons in every mouth. I just like you stand accused.
3. Anton Ouijabo's Demons, Donkeys, Dungeons and Dollhouses, currently on hiatus as he travels the multiverse, the manyverse as we have to call it. The dollhouse was accommodation, have an accent. Blinding is a rescue beacon on your fear demon, so deliver me too. Nice. Isometric dungeon map, Republican elephant, Tatarian, sepulchral, dismal, non-Euclidean, shivers.
The interesting per Squid Lord and return. Peel session is much better, IMO.
Oh, that makes more sense. And finally, international clip-out abs for all your clip-out ab needs. Ladies and gents sizes, elf 6-pack, 8-pack, nth pack. Transparent abs vectors for your PPTs with no background. Image of a man with sleek brown hair wearing a white collar, black bow tie, white cuffs, grey belt, red shorts, and smirks while showing off his etc. etc. So those were some good sponsors, weren't they?
Log Lady Doris.
Exactly. Shall we do a auditorium?
Yes.
Give me a number.
112.
Okie dokie. Welcome to the Maude Flanders Internet Museum Theme Park and Database, the world's great performance hot cake eatery. Just one of over 58 MFIDBs around the globe and space. Abandoned, woof woof. Currently still under construction after mysterious tithing pool toast fires. We should check in with those monkeys soon and see how they're getting on, really, to be honest. I bet they've nearly finished. Find us.
Hopefully they're all not sad.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see. I know we got up to the letter D in the alphabet, so who knows what the letter E will bring. Find us in the Quarp Late Shop car park next to Banknote Vivisection and Mates Rates John Barleycorn.
Reasonable no-notice.
There's a envelope. Can you just pick up? There is a message coming through on the speaker, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you very much for escaping me from that space prison. Ergen, is that you?
Who the hell is that?
It's me, Sharon. It's me.
Oh, yeah.
It's me, Sheila Sharon Forrest. Remember when we were in that space prison together for a year?
Oh, it's you. I didn't recognise you.
Oh, it's because I've got wonky eyes. I've got gammy eyes. Now, because something happened with Pesky. And, who's that next to you? That's not Jeff effing Apple next to you, is it?
Yeah, it's Jeff effing Apple. What's your problem, Forrest?
Jeff Apple and the bloody watchdogs. Yeah, it's us. What's up, Sharon Forrest?
Hello.
Well, before I got married to Mr. Dr. Forrest, my name was Sharon Flimflam, and you and your bloody spaceship crushed my brother to death. I am coming for you. Ergen, hang up, Ergen. Envelope.
Where's the button?
Hang up. I'm coming for you. I'm tracking your coordinates right now. I am on your trail.
Put it on speaker. I'll do it, you moron. She's gone.
So it looks like we're now being hunted down by a woman who has been in prison twice in the last 3 months. Jeez Louise.
Exactly. It's all go.
112. People like Maude, Terry Racolat, boycotted Fox, married with children, and Tipper Gore, Parent Music Resource Center, 1985 Senate rock music lyrics. Zappa makes a great case for free speech. Hey, PMRC, you stupid fucking assholes. The sticker on the record is what makes him gold. So this is about when those Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, and her mates tried to shut down heavy metal and all that stuff. And where's Maude stand on all that? Is she shutting that stuff down? Or is she a secret Venom fan?
No, I think she would consider Aerosmith to be heavy metal. So I think her world is very closed off when it comes to music and general culture, like movies and stuff, TV.
But she knows it exists, but she doesn't care that it's potentially polluting the ears and eyes of her children.
I can't imagine she's heard what TG and her friends were concerned about. Like, again, I don't think she'll have been... There's not really any situations where Maude will have been around real heavy metal music. So she probably hasn't actually heard. Like, her gauge for it in her head is things like Aerosmith. I don't think she thinks it gets any more heavy than that or metallic.
Was she made aware of the Satanic Panic?
I would imagine so, yeah. I think that and the stuff with the video stuff in the 80s, nasties. The video nasties, yeah. What did she make about that? Because we know that she tried to shut down Mickey Angelo's David, and that's not that rude, is it? No, I think she would be full protest, but she isn't going to subject herself to. She probably doesn't really know the extent of what she's protesting in situations like this. Like, she's not going to then go home and watch Charles play or listen to Megadeth.
But she'd want stickers on it. She wouldn't argue if Tipper called her up. She wouldn't stop for a second, right?
No, and Helen would already be on the other end of the phone shouting about how people should be thinking of the children. So yeah, Maude would be against it, but I don't think she'd fully understand it.
Okay, well let's wait and see if that happens in the real world.
Would you like a Mordio commentary?
Yes, I would.
Forgot about them. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
3,
Give me another number.
4.
It was funny that they thought it was too far for Homer to wish Ned dead. Then years later, he killed Maude. This comes directly from the In Flanders Field. No, that's the real. When Flanders Failed episode. It was funny that they thought it was too far for Homer to wish Ned dead. Then years later, he killed Maude.
Now, is that because their morals slipped, or is it because that relationship between Ned and Maude and Homer and Ned and Maude was somehow different? Or was it because they maliciously didn't want to pay Maggie Roswell any money?
So, a melting pot of all of those things. I think it got way more cartoonish by season 11 from season 3. They tried to anchor them to humanity for quite a long time. And they still do in some regards, but now it's more like a scene. Or like they'll have an emotional conversation in the midst of all the silliness, whereas here it was still being considered whether Homer would think it was too far to wish his neighbour dead. Like, would that be too far for the audience to think Homer was a bad guy? Cut to 13 or 14 years later, and an episode opens with Homer and Grandpa accidentally crashing a car. And then instead of saving Grandpa, Homer smothers him to death. And then it reveals that he was just having a lovely dream.
So I think that answers all of our questions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good answer, and I enjoyed that. But here we've got another postcard from Jacques the Pen Daddy. Do you want to read it? You've been doing a good job of reading these so far.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, sure.
It's me, the crafty elderly pooch down there in the spooky distance. Accept my expression of remorse, my precious scrutineers. It's de rigueur, no guise or ploy. Oh, Z in the snarled electromagnetic twin in the wee principality. I trawled the best restaurants in the wee right now. Tried and tested, restaurant unplumbed. Living in every corner of an apartment at the same time. Plant manager of frame manufacturing company. Sign up form my ILNY fans. Oh, sign up form my OnlyFans. Me and KK only £3 a month. Corny but true. Sense 8 Hernando. Why does one droop at the monotonous eternal coastline? Quantum Pence vomits constantly. The ragweed crackers. The gout in his wings. The joint feeling hot and very tender, to the point of being unable to bear anything touching it. Swelling in and around the affected joint. Red, shiny skin over the affected joint. Peeling, itchy and flaky skin as the swelling goes down. The denizens of the wee prin are oppressed, but for why it spills into my heart. Who is doing this hurting on them? I see large foot statues.
Now, do you think do you think Jack's losing it, or do you think he's he somehow feels that that's how you write a postcard?
It feels like he writes whatever the beginning or end of his tangent are, but without the journey of the tangent. Just the end thought or the first thought, such as Sense 8 Hernando. he obviously knows what that's referencing, but he doesn't bother to let us in on it.
Oh, Jacques, you crafty brother. Oh, at the end he has put love Jock.
Oh, yeah.
At the end. All right, so well, here's the quote from him. You see how this relates to modelling.
The ethical can therefore end up making us irresponsible.
That's a good Maude quote, because he does take it too far. For example, ethically, maybe you shouldn't have a burlesque house in town, but that doesn't mean you get to smash it up. And examples similar to that she's also ethically, it's nice to look after your neighbour's children while they have parenting counselling or whatever, but it's irresponsible to then try and baptise them secretly.
Exactly. That's a great quote, isn't it, from Jacques this week? So he's made up for his initial nonsense.
One of the most Maude relatable quotes he's given us.
This is what he does sometimes. Yeah, it's what sometimes he'll, the Jacques giveth and the Jacques taketh away. Shall we move on to some content? I feel that we were extending our allotted 15 minutes by a considerable amount. But hey, it's episode 49. We can do whatever we want, right?
We can. We always can.
So, clip one. Do you want to give us some context into today's episode?
We're finishing up Lisa the Skeptic, an episode that has taken us way longer to get through, considering this is like a supersized Uncle Mo's Family Feedback situation. It's taken us 3 episodes to cover this episode, and she's not giving much away, is she?
She is not indeed. So, clip one. The crowd are moving up the hill. If you remember last week, Lenny pointed at the angels. So, the crowd are moving up the hill. Maude has lost some ground on Apu and Lenny, who are now leading the way. A classic, very strange back of the body shot with a very weird walk up the hill towards the angel, and I have called it sub-bongo levels of animation all round, although very stirring music.
Interesting. I have also made a connection to bongo, but it's in the next clip, and it's not related to Maude. I did write what a freakish frame and hairstyle she has when she's running up the hill, because she almost looks like the letter T, like her hair's too wide and flat and her body's too scrawny. And yeah, she's somehow, some polite nonsense has seen her pushed back from being the first one out of that room pretty much. She's now like 3 rows back. So either she's just not a fast runner, or she somehow ended up politely letting people, which doesn't really read for Maude anyway. It would make sense for Ned, but she wouldn't stand back in this situation and say, yeah, go ahead, Lenny, Dr. Hibbert. You do sort of see a side Maude. Did you notice that? Like, she vaguely turns her head towards the end of the clip, and it sort of looks like Mo is dressed as Maude.
I did not see that, no. But it's
very overarching mouth.
Very, very dodgy animation, and not just Maude, many other, but I think Maude is one of the worst here. However,
I believe we're just at the point now where they started using digital colouring as well.
Okay.
I think that maybe next season, I can't remember, but there's a point where it stops being hand-painted cells around this time, so I don't know if that plays. I don't know why it would affect the animation, but maybe that plays into it. The sky looks very nice again.
In the next one, in the yellowy pink one, this one, the sky is I think it's just a straight up blue for this one, but
where are Rod and Todd?
Well, this is the thing, right? So let's go on to the next clip, because they're more or less the same idea, right? But I wasn't sure whether they were separated by some time. So clip 2 was the yellow sun sets in the pink sky. Ned is arm around Maude, and a very weird Todd is now there hugging Maude's leg as Rod looks on. Camera swings and we see the Holy Rollers flanked by the town from the Angel's POV. Well, Ned says nervously. A terrified Maude does not move or blink. Helen looks less bothered. Where did the children come from? I just assumed it was much later, because the kids appear, and then once the next bit, the reveal happens, the kids are gone again.
Yeah, something must have happened between these 2 clips for me to cut them into 2 clips. So something has happened in between these 2 things, but I don't think a lot of time has passed. Probably Lisa just whinging about her moral compass.
Exactly.
That is a bongo level bad Helen, I noted. She's just got like a tiny scrunched up face, and she doesn't look bothered at all, but that's because she's barely been drawn. Yeah, Todd and Rod are now here for some reason, because they weren't in the courthouse either, I don't think.
No, they have not appeared at all yet, so who knows where they were hiding.
It is possible that they ran up to the angel in the first clip, went home, and all came back and stood in basically the same place.
No, surely that's too much.
I'd like to say that someone along the lines of the Sunday school teacher, who I'm going to hazard a guess, she's called Mrs. Albright. That might be wildly wrong, though.
It's a good name, though, right? All things bright and beautiful.
Exactly. Let's say that she was looking after all the kids in like a courthouse room, and upon seeing the angel, she wasn't interested in seeing it because she's not there, but she let all the kids go.
Maybe she's just in the back and you can't see her. Maybe she's even more of a nestler than Maude.
Yeah.
No, we know Maude loves a nestle. She's not nestling this week though. She's front and center.
No, to say she's a minor character is sort of an insult to her at this point, because a minor character would be someone like Mrs. Albright.
Someone who's so minor that we have to imagine her 2 decades later.
Yes. Todd is being very clingy, which is typical of Todd.
Typical bloody Todd behaviour.
And in the first shot, Rod looks like he's stood away from them. Like he looks like he's sulking with the rest of them, but then he's all clingy again when it cuts back.
So we get to see Maude's face, right? And she looks terrified, and she doesn't move or blink for the entire scene, as do many of the other residents. But what's going on in Maude's head at this point? She's fully invested now that this is a real live angel, but what is she making of it?
I thought she is fully believing this situation, that this angel has now moved to where it was. It's just moving around the town. Like, I think at this point she thinks this is probably the end, this is the rapture, and she does look genuinely terrified at this point, but just probably the initial fear or like the reality of the situation is setting in, that this angel can, in her mind, it can do what it wants, and
So-
she just has to grin and bear it.
At this point, the angel hasn't done anything, but it does bear a sign saying the end is nigh, or the end is coming, or something like that. What do you think she makes of that coming rapture and apocalypse? She's quite happy about that, right?
Yeah, I think I've pieced together what's happened here. I think when they ran up the hill, something to do with the end is coming at sundown. So then they all obviously they flock to the statue at sundown, which explains why they're already terrified before it's done anything, because they're counting down, well, quite literally counting down soon, until sundown. So she's completely in the unknown here, which she doesn't like. I don't think. She likes to have some grasp of context of what's going on around her, and here she's got no control.
None. No control whatsoever. So she's just staring wide-eyed. She's got the boys. She's still keeping care of those boys, but maybe like we see her in the post-apocalyptic verse, she's ready for action, but she's genuinely terrified. Is this the most scared we've ever seen Maude?
I think it might be. There's not a lot up there with it, other than when Ned fainted that time when they had the Simpsons kids, and she was very panicky. But that was more a fear panic. This is just genuine terror, I think. Like, yeah, she doesn't blink. Neither do I. Notice Sideshow Mel and Luan also don't blink, but Rod and Todd and Ned do.
Now, does that
So
say
she's-
something about the levels of belief?
I think it's just another show of how they respect or don't respect Roswell.
Let's have another dig. Let's make it so Maude doesn't blink.
At this point, they're using Maude, Helen, Luan, etc. as mind games of a sort.
As
Which is why Helen's face was so bad.
weapons against Roswell.
Exactly.
Weapons in the war against Roswell.
Yes. She's been fully weaponized at this point.
Clip 3.
Have you haven't finished that one, I don't think.
I believe I did.
You didn't do all the stuff about Ned talking to Lovejoy.
Well, Ned says nervously. Maybe I cut the end off. What does Ned say?
Ned says something to Lovejoy about should we sing a hymn, and then names 2 hymns, and Lovejoy just looks at him and says, nah. And that happens whilst she's not blinking and stuff, but I thought it was a fun Lovejoy line.
Nope. Don't know what it says. It's gone.
Well, hang on.
Well, shall we sing a hymn? Near my God to thee, maybe? Or Amazing Grace? No.
So Ned turns to Lovejoy and he says, shall we sing a hymn, Nearer My God to Thee, or Amazing Grace, showing his piety, of course, as Maude and the kids, Maude particularly, looks on unblinking and terrified. And you know what Lovejoy says? He just dismisses it with a no.
Almost photographic memory you've got there. Right. Yeah, it all works out. Good Lovejoy line, good reminder of his character, that Ned and Maude are more believing of this than the Reverend and his wife, his squishy-faced wife.
The Reverend still believes this is true, though, right? Because they all do. But he doesn't believe it any more than the average punter.
I think there's a few people there because they don't necessarily believe it, but there's a suspicion that it might be true. They don't want to be proven wrong. Like, Lovejoy would feel like an idiot if he didn't go and it was real, but
Exactly.
He isn't necessarily thinking it's going to lead to anything in the way that Ned and Maude are.
Are you familiar with Pascal's wager?
No.
Pascal's wager says that you should, it's in your best interest to believe in God whether or not he exists, because it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's like hedging your bets.
hedging your bets. It's in your best interest to believe in Xenu, whether or not he exists.
Catholicism as well is one of the easier ones to do because you can just say, if you're in the position where you know you're about to die, you can just apologize. You're only really out of luck if you get hit by a buzz or something like that, like sudden death. But providing you've got like a 30-second window, you can get into heaven anyway. So
Yeah, I don't think you have to say it either. You just think it.
that's good.
Yeah, it doesn't have to come out loud, right? Because, God's everywhere like a cloud in the spooky distance, right? So all you have to do is think it, and it's done.
Okay, we'll find out in the Godcast.
Exactly. Clip 3. Clancy is looking at his watch. There is an orange sky. He is counting down 7, 6, 5. A hopeful ducky Maude is nestled in behind Clancy. The gang's all here. Agnes is smiling. Milhouse and Kirk look terrified. Krusty and Mr. Smoking Monkey look on. Indian Man Apu and Manjula are shocked too. Lisa turns away, reading Scientific American. Clancy is counting 3, 2, 1. The sun goes down and nothing happens. And anticipate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Disco Stew takes centre frame, which was a weird choice out of all the characters in this situation to pick. Like most of them, they've gone for somewhat religious people, and then they just thrown Disco Stew in the middle, which is nice for us. Feels like they're pushing Apu and Manjula as a couple, like as much as possible, following the wedding a couple of episodes ago, just to sort of establish her as a B or C list as quickly as possible. She's sort of usurping Maude in a way, but not in this episode. She sort of, when the sun actually sets, she looks shocked, but there is sort of a bit of joy on her face. Like she's ready, she's excited to see what's coming, even though she's terrified.
Yes.
There's a brief moment of release.
Well, what happens then is Clancy gets to 0, right? We see Lisa is reading Scientific American, and Clancy gets down to 3, 2, 1. The sun goes down, and nothing happens. An anticipatory tiny Maude with her arms semi-aloft in shock and awe. She gets out a sigh of relief and then looks like she stands up moaning. Lisa emerges and says, "There you go. I hope all you learned a valuable..." "Silence," says the voice of Angel as spotlight shines on it. Classic back of the Maude hands out pose. We see the Simpsons and Moe lean back and gasp. Lisa grasps Marge's arms. The Angel rises, and we see Icossus PS. And we see a shot, but not of Maude.
Wonderful. That is a very big sigh of relief, isn't it? And a ducky sigh of relief.
Look at the size of those eyes popping out her head like a skull.
We have seen a lot of big-eyed. Well, Wiggum doesn't look any better there, but a lot of big-eyed Maude in this episode. Like, that's a good one. That will cut off. So I've made a note about that one. Don't worry. Yeah, a lot of big-faced Maude. It's a good back of the shocked look. Like when the Angel rises and speaks, her arms and her back. You can tell that she's shocked. Does this count as a surviving death once again?
I mean, not really. She was never really in danger.
No, in her own mind, she was. So this counts to her, well, only briefly, because they find out the truth very soon, but she does briefly have that thing again of, I haven't died, like that rush. And she's too small at the end to see if she's in a stunned rage.
Do you think, would you predict that she was in a stunned rage?
Yes. Did you finish reading this clip?
No.
Oh, okay, then that stunned rage comes in a moment. Now she's just stunned.
A very shocked...
I also wrote that the small Maudes are very pointy this week.
They're very pointy, and some of them are wavy, especially the running Maudes.
Yes.
All in all, it's a good week for people like Bad Maudes. That's me. Hands up. A very shocked Maude looks on. The paper of the end. Prepare for the end, says the ascending angel. Lisa grabs Maude's leg and shudders. The end of high prices, says the angel, as it rises and turns. Great light animation. We don't see Maude, unfortunately. Behold, turns the angel as the town shunners.
Reread the second line of that again after ascending angel.
Lisa grabs Maud's leg and shudders.
Lisa grabs Marge's leg.
Ka-ching, ka-ching. Lisa grabs Marge's leg and shudders.
No relation. It would change the scene quite a lot if she just grabbed Maud's leg. It would make her way more central in this story.
Be a way better scene, wouldn't it?
Of course.
It's one of the biggest missed opportunities. We've said this before. The Lisa Maud connection would have been an absolute delight, but it wasn't to be.
Maud probably would have instinctively thought it was Rod and Todd, and then looked down and just sort of
Ugh.
shoot her off anyway. Yeah, no, it's too small to see if she's in a stunned rage because the angel is now revealed. Or it said something very confusing.
What did it say?
Why would she prepare for the end of high prices? In that moment, she has no idea what's going on.
It's a weird thing for an angel to say, isn't it?
Yeah,
It'd be hard to put that in context.
it would.
Although, of course, the massive crane that is holding the angel aloft would be a slight giveaway.
True, but she probably hasn't seen that yet.
They're hiding it well. We don't see it at all, I don't think, do we?
I don't think so.
It's just not addressed, the fact that this giant angel is swung high up into the air. I mean, it doesn't really look convincing because it's got a base, right? It would have been better if the angel had been picked up off the base and flown like an actual angel.
Yes.
But maybe that's the joke. And so the angel turns and it says, "Behold, the grand opening of Heavenly Hills Mall," and the valley lights up to show generic 80s Dawn of the Dead style Maud. Tiny Maud looks on now with very short hair as we get a reveal of the announcer with mic and light guy behind the bushes. Announcer doing the voice of the angel says, "Please follow." Maud stands motionless, as do the rest. "Please follow the angel for all your shopping needs."
I'm a very big fan of that screen grab you've taken. It's a very powerful looking Maud.
Short hair, powerful, tapered, two little hobgoblins by her side who are almost of equal height.
Yes, Todd looks very wide as well.
He's
And
very
he doesn't
hobgoblin-y.
He doesn't have eyes, does he?
No.
Barney looks pretty good there as well. But yeah, this is where I don't know if she's in a shocked rage or not.
That doesn't look
It's
like a
fine.
shocked rage. That looks like someone who's accepted her fate but now is somewhat baffled as to what that fate is.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
Once again standing motionless as the angel now suggests. And she must have seen, as soon as the angel suggests, she goes shopping in the mall and they see the mall lights up. She's not a fool. She knows that it's not a real angel. What's going through her head then?
We'll arrive on that in clip 4 because I think she's just working through the motions.
Then I shall move on to said clip 4. Lisa is admonishing the man. "You exploited people's deepest beliefs just to hawk your cheesy words." She gestures hands out. "We are outraged," she says, her hands on hips glowing. "Aren't we?" She turns to Wiggum and we zoom out to see little-eyed Maud, looking doe-eyed and bug-eyed, just like Sarah Wiggum. Wiggum rubs his belly. "Oh yeah, we're outraged very much," unconvincingly. "But look at all the stores." Maud looks on without moving, staring at them all. Clancy continues, "A pottery barn." No, Maud says that. "A pottery barn and 20% off everything? Does that include rat spray?" says Mo. Blue suit schmaltzy man says, "Ah, yeah." Agnes hits Mo with her stick, knocks him over. "Out of my way, shorty," she shouts and begins to run for the mall, followed quickly by Mo, Wiggum and the Bouvier sisters. A Clancy, Mo and Agnes show would be delightful, I noted. Apu, Indian man Apu, Smithers, and then Maud, right behind, once again sprinting. She's quite the runner. They all are, leaving Lisa on the hill with Kurt Vonnegut and Marge.
Yes. There's a couple of season 9 traits in this clip. One of them being they just can't be bothered to wrap the story up properly. This isn't a sufficient ending, really. It's funny, but it leaves too many unanswered questions for me, in that this is not how Maud, Ned, Helen and Tim would respond to this situation at all. They would be furious. Maud especially. Maud and Helen, out of the 4 of them, would just feel like how Lisa's feeling, but multiplied by 10. They would.
Yes.
You've just completely exploited our religious beliefs. You made me think my children were going to die just for some shopping needs. But again, maybe this is showing us just how much Maude secretly enjoys to shop. We've only seen her at the mall once, but she was shopping, and it's something we've never really established how sort of frugal she is. Does she like to save money, or will she go out on a nice shopping spree and buy herself a new pair of shoes?
Yeah, we haven't seen her do much. She's been in the mall a couple of times, as you say, and not really buy much. She always wears the same clothes, as many of them do in Simpsons Town, of course. Yeah, I'd imagine she's quite a frugal person, and also maybe she needs to be living on Ned's leftorium salary, seeing as she doesn't work outside the house, and we don't really know what happens in there.
And Rod's medical bills on top of that.
Through the roof, his constant diabetes.
Exactly. Unrelenting diabetes. Angry, funny Agnes is another season 9 trait. I don't know when it started picking up, but she's sort of been angry for a while, but she becomes more prominent as time goes on here. And there's a good Agnes Mo sort of running gag. This happens a couple of times, not enough for it to be a recurring thing, but I can think of at least one more where it's in the Praiseland one where Mo thinks the Maude statue has told them all to go crazy. So he just snatches Agnes's purse and kicks it over the wall. There's a couple of moments between them. They would be a good double act.
Absolutely, because they're both unreasonable and they're both ridiculous. Agnes is the only one smiling earlier when it looks like the angel is coming to get them. Everyone else looks terrified and she's got a big grin on her face.
There's an episode where Agnes and Comic Book Guy date, and I think that was a very good sort of duo that they should have kept around, because they were just both awful, sarcastic, rude people.
And that's the kind of stuff I want to see.
I think this is unrelated completely, but the reason he begins to fall for it is because he calls him something like an ill-mannered fat sack of crap.
And he likes her spunky attitude, no doubt.
Yes. Visually, she doesn't even have a nose here. She just has two eyes and a line separating them.
That's Goldie Hawn in the 60s.
Lovely.
Those eyes remind me a lot. Those kind of bugged out with a black eyeliner remind me a lot of modelling, but not usually. Only in this. But
especially with the top, she's got mascara here for some reason as well.
Yeah, that's my point. I mean, I think that's what makes it, with the tiny little eyes, and the blue eyeshadow is gone and been replaced by this kind of like super thick mascara.
Betty Flanders.
Betty Flanders.
She's got Betty Flanders eyes. Yeah, very buggy.
Buggy with a lot of mascara. The mascara snake.
Interestingly, the thing that makes Agnes say that to Comic Book Guy is because he calls her Oldie Hawn.
Nice. Which is a generic line that he probably uses on all the old ladies he dates.
Anyway, he has a Japanese wife now from Osaka.
Good. What about Sarah Wiggum there?
Yeah, they stood right next to each other, but they're too busy at this point to acknowledge their... I think they're probably friends at this point. I think the animosity has gone. But
the animosity over the dating of Ralph Tonks in their youth?
Yeah, I think they're good now. Maude probably does question why Sarah's son is called Ralph.
We haven't heard from Ralph Tonks in a long time. I miss him.
No, he might be dead.
God, I hope not. I hope he makes an appearance real soon.
Janice Hubler could have him under a
ring. It's just a dead line. I really expected that to be a phone call from fictional character Ralph Tonks, but no, just
unfortunate.
Just a dead. Obviously a wrong number.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's very funny how Clancy responded to Lisa's act of shame, and it was very well delivered. The lines of yes, very very shameful. But there's so many. But look at all the stores.
See how Azaria can flourish with white characters.
Azaria can do all the characters of all races. Azaria doesn't see stereotypes when he does them.
He just hears them.
He's oblivious to the fact he's doing stereotypes, because to Azaria, he sees only stereotypes. Everyone's a stereotype to him. So when he does an Indian voice, that's just him talking like an Indian man.
That's how they all sound.
That's how cops sound. All cops sound like that. What other voices does Azaria do?
Mo, Brink. I think he's Officer Lou.
All the biggies.
All the biggies. Yeah, plenty more comic book guys.
I think he's great. It's too bad he was fired, isn't it?
Yes, shouldn't have asked for more money.
Clip 5. We see the neon signs, all with an angel. Long, spindly Maude is running sans kids down the hill, trying to enter the mall. She has lost ground on the front runners, but still, it's a big mall, given there's only about 12 of them.
Yeah, the crowd again changes size quite a lot in these scenes. There's quite a lot of people knocking about sometimes, so like 1 or 2 shots, but then not again. Like Disco Stu and Miss Hoover I noticed early on, but I don't remember them later on. The best thing about this clip is that Bumblebee Man's wings are flapping as he runs.
Yes.
Which is
tiny.
I'm very happy with that. He will have his day in the sun at some point.
I think so. Hi, caramba.
I thought maybe her and Ned had some kind of change of heart, and that's why they're the last 2 in. Or she's the last one in. Maybe she did sort of question her moral stance on the situation on the way down, and then thought, no, I do want these new shoes.
These Jimmy Choos.
Yeah, but I imagine the Holy Rollers must have met up and sought some kind of vengeance against these 2 men at some point.
It was obviously a very long night of the soul that meant that she was merely 3 or 4 steps behind a sprinting Mo. So she obviously went through all those doubts, her moment of doubt and fear in much quicker than Jesus when he spent 40 days and nights in the desert. Maude simply just had a quick think, about 3 or 4 seconds, and then set off sprinting for her capitalist wonderland.
The very practical answer would be she's wearing shoes with a heel on. So both times, that's probably why she's just running a bit slower.
God damn it! If I was wearing flat shoes, I'd have got right to the front of that mall mob.
She probably went in and bought some flat shoes.
I'd be drinking a slushy right now.
Exactly.
Isn't there there's another mall, right? The Springfield Mall. So this is the second mall.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's the Try and Save, which is like the discount mall.
Mm.
Then there's like the pink Springfield Mall, like the regular one.
Yeah.
And then there's this one that I think is supposed to be different because it's called like Heavenly Hills or something.
Heavenly Hills, right?
The angel.
Is it mentioned ever again?
I don't think so. Because then there's at least, it's like a season or 2 later, there's a guy, like a rich guy called Arthur Fortune, who turns up and opens like a mega store. And that sort of, I don't think that comes back either. But the mall, the generic mall sort of stands like surviving.
Yes.
But no, I don't think this one returns after this. Maybe it was rubbish. Maybe that's why they needed this big stunt. Maybe there were no shops inside.
Who knows? Maybe Springfield's just not big enough. We've talked about this before. The population of Springfield can't be that big. We spent a lot of time there. We'd know more people by now if it was.
And there's a lot of people in the background who we don't know, though. It does change a lot from being a town to like a city with a university and a beach and a desert. Whatever is needed, basically. That's it.
That was a good one. Took a long time to get through those clips, considering Maude's in it for a grand total of about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Most of which she's standing unblinking in terror. But, that's the magic of the Maudecast. That's how we managed to be 49 episodes in and still be on the 9th season of The Simpsons.
This isn't the last time this is going to happen either. But these are sort of cherished. These will be at some time cherished episodes because after she dies, she's never just there for no reason.
Sadly.
So there's a few more times where, again, just because the animation got better and easier, that they could use recurring characters as crowd members as opposed to just sort of generic people. So there's a few more appearances where she is just a townsperson. But yeah, it's all part of the mosaic.
Well, that was lots of fun. Shall we move on to a Maudestagram? So this is where we are able to look at the top page of Instagram and we look at either the top or the most recent Maude Flanders hashtags, and we can pick 2 or 3 pictures to discuss in a little bit more depth. So have you got it open there? My first image is going to be this one by Bubba TX, which is a tattoo of Maude on a Vespa. It says Maude for life.
Yes. I believe we've looked at that before,
Can't
but it's
step in
nice to
the
see it again.
can't step in the same river twice. I don't believe we have, so it didn't happen. It's nice, isn't it? She's got a green outfit. She's looking sporty and preppy, and she's riding on a scooter. Do you believe she's ever ridden a scooter?
No. In fact, yes. Much younger, when she was between the ages of like 17 and 24, once on maybe a girls' holiday.
I see. Oh, I'd like to see a picture of that, probably zipping around Venice or Paris in a little helmet. I'm surprised she's not wearing a helmet, because you would expect her to be much more safety conscious, wouldn't you?
You would. Maybe she just took the helmet off for the sake of the photograph being tattooed.
Maybe.
But I can't argue with a Maude Flanders arm or leg tattoo.
No, you'd be a fool
No.
to. You'd be a hypocrite.
I would.
Do you have one for me?
Yes, I'm going to choose this one's just stupid, but I'm going to pick it anyway.
Please
It's
do.
by Four Guys Podcast, and it's a series of 5 images. Most shocking TV character death, and then it's just 5 completely random, like characters who even in the TV show they were on weren't the most shocking death. It says R.I.P. the Night King, real name unknown. From
What show? What show's that?
Game of Thrones. And then R.I.P. Anthony John Soprano Sr., which I believe the big part of that, at the end of that show, is that it was left up to you. Like, he wasn't confirmed to be killed.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Number 3 is Buffy's mum.
Nice.
Who, it was up there, but it still wasn't. It was the saddest, but it wasn't the most shocking.
And they're
number 4
rebooting. They're rebooting Buffy, right?
Oh yeah, they've been doing that for about 6 years now, though.
Oh,
But they've rebooted in comic form, and I quite enjoy those. But it's probably on the back burner now that Whedon's
In the doghouse, isn't he?
Hollywood.
He's in the bloody doghouse for all of his rum stuff.
Exactly. Number 4 is Maude Flanders, which, yeah, probably the most shocking Simpsons death, because it's not a killing your characters kind of show, but it's only as shocking as the likes of Frank Grimes and the sort of later ones, like Krusty's dad. And then the fifth picture is honourable RIPs, and it's just a list that I'm going to read to you now. Everyone at the Red Wedding, Ned Stark, that guy Landry killed in season 2, Adriana Lacerva, Pie Oh My, Charlie Pace, Wallace, McDreamy, Keith Scott, Chet Hunter, Kenny, with no reference to what TV shows those are from.
Other than Kenny, I don't know any of those.
The first few are Game of Thrones, and Charlie Pace is Lost. Other than that, I don't know any of them either. Pie Oh My.
McDreamy and Chet Hunter are good names, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to check what Chet Hunter's from. Hold on. If you know out there in the world, you can shout it, can't you? You can shout it. Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World. Chet Hunter was Sean's deceased father. He died of a heart attack in the 6th season of Boy Meets World, but continued to appear as a spirit until the end of the season, and appeared in the spin-off Girl Meets World.
Very Maude.
Very Maude. Very 90s Maude. All right. My second and final choice is this Flanders cosplay.
Oh, yes.
There's your Maude. Do you want to describe what you can see there?
Yeah. It's a male and a female dressed up as the Flanders people. And in terms of the Flanders cosplay I've seen, this is up there as one of the better ones.
Her hair's a bit frizzy for Maude. I don't think it's quite as bouffant as it would be in the TV show, but I think it's a solid effort.
She has a hard hairstyle to capture in the real world, I would say. Her vest's a bit wonky, but other than that, it's good. I don't think they would be in a room full of guitars in the real world and a printer.
Does that mean that he's the guy? He's not the guy from that band you hate, right? The Ned Flanders.
I don't think so.
Yes, in the second picture, you can see Maude taking a picture of Ned holding the Holy Bible. You get a little.
That very much looks. That's very Twin Peaks when Sarah Palmer sees Bob in the mirror.
It's creepy, innit?
My last choice.
That's by Sheer Graphics, by the way. So well done, Sheer Graphics. Good job.
My last choice. Oh yeah, there it is. It vanished. KK Art Illustration is this one.
Oh yeah, we've definitely looked at that one as well before. I think maybe.
I don't think we've looked at this.
Okay, it's cool though. Very good.
It is. It's Homer's head filled with many of the iconic Halloween characters. The only one I can't is the bottom right, the skull. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But outside of that, it's all. I don't know why the Simpsons house with a hole in it takes up so much space. That could have been used slightly better, but who am I to say anything? The real Freddy Krueger seems to be nestled in Maude at the top as well.
I'm all for any of these being nestled. You know, that's my go-to.
Yeah, but no, very, very good, fun, and this is Maude. This isn't Maude art in the sense that most of the Maude art we look at, she's the focus, whereas here she's just part of an ensemble, which is nice for her. That's cool.
Should have chosen that one. I'm going to sneak that in as a secret one, even though we're going long. That is by Fitzy Fitton, and it is a version of Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace 2, Willie's Revenge, and we've got Maude and Ned hugging, but in the mirror, as Maude's looking, he's not Ned, he's actually Willie Freddy Krueger off that Halloween special.
Nice. Where is that?
That is quite far down on the top. It's like the 30th or 40th one down. Yeah, it's pretty far down.
It's very, very cool. I like it a lot. It's creepy.
Yeah.
But in the correct way that creepy works for Maude. Oh, there I am.
And there's the first forward Simpsons. I noticed you changed your name on Instagram, so you're going to is the idea that you're going to start showing more images from this show? Those wonderful images you've been making?
I am. Following episode 50, I'm going to start doing photo dumps of my favourite images from the first 50 Maudecasts.
Splendid.
And then onwards from there. I know that is I wouldn't like to say it's much cooler. It's equally as cool, and the concept is very good.
Great concept. That's the Willie one, the Willie Ned mirror.
Yes.
Like you just said about Bob and all that stuff. Alrighty. Do you have time? We should move on to a diary. Do you have time for a diary today?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, we do. And here it is.
Dear Diary, today is a frantic day in the Flanders house. There are workmen everywhere. It's come to our attention that Rod can't be trusted on his own in the bathroom. When we tell him to take his insulin, he just lies, and he's been injecting it into his pet turtle and trying to sneak. He thinks that God has given him diabetes as a test. So we've decided that we don't want to shame Rod or take away his responsibilities. So the only solution we had was to install a peephole in our bathroom and several other rooms around the house, including Rod's bedroom. The guy we got to do it has been very sarcastic to me all morning, and he's very rude, and he's a bit Charles Bronson-y, so he isn't going to be coming back. He's on my bad list of townspeople now. That sarcastic man. But the peephole installation went smoothly. I don't know why it took 15 workers, and I don't know why it cost over $3,000. But it's important to us that Rod learns this lesson. And as soon as Rod's started taking his insulin properly, we aren't going to be spying in the bathroom anyway. And I've promised I won't use it ever anyway, unless Dr. Hibbert comes around. Bye.
Well, Maude, what kind of dark world are you living in? So she lets her small child inject himself with insulin on a trust basis, but then she puts people around the house that she uses to spy on him, and this kind of thing she's got going for Dr. Hibbert. We realised a while back that in the few days when she thought Ned was dead, she actually went out with Hibbert. I'm not sure what the story is there, but all in all, that is a weird and creepy and very expensive renovation she just had done.
True. And it doesn't sound like they got rid of it at any point either.
No, I imagine that they just stayed there, and so every room has the potential to be peeped on.
Yes. She would play it as if God wanted it that way.
Exactly. But she'd know that was a line, right? Is she okay with using that line?
I think so. She believes it.
She believes that whatever she thinks is right, God wants.
Basically.
Okay. Well. Now we're hurtling towards. We've left the Space Casino, and where are we off to now, Jeff?
Isn't it bloody obvious? We're headed to the edge of space-time to meet the space star child, Matthew Michael McConaughey. I'm gonna clone myself and ascend to space heaven. Hooray!
What are we going to do when we get there?
You can just drop me off and then turn around and go bloody home.
It
That's a
seems
bit
like
anticlimactic.
a long journey just to do that. Don't you have your own like penis-shaped cucumber rocket you could have used?
Oh yeah, I got a whole bunch of them, but I thought it'd be good to have you along for the ride.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, thankfully, we've not heard any more from Sharon Susan Forrest, aka Sharon Susan Flimflam, who's now unfortunately on our trail and trying to hunt us down and kill us. But enough of that. Zip us on envelope to the edge of space-time.
Sorry.
And while we're there, why don't you and envelope give us a song to write through. Jeff, do you want to join in this week?
Yeah, why not? That's always a lot of fun.
Let's all join in.
I'm going to sit this one out. Just listen. Who's
Okay. Me
who's
too.
going first? Ergen, envelope, or Jeff?
Ergen.
Come on then.
I have your screen. Lisa, Skeptic, the Crow are moving up into the hall.
Classic, very.
Very strange.
What does Jeff singing sound like?
Very strange. A bolt shot. Very weird walking up the hill towards the angel.
As the yellow sun set in the pink sky, Ned has his arm around Maude.
Helen looks bog-third.
Orange sighs. A hopeful ducky Maude is next led behind Clancy.
And Rusty and Banks Rooty, monkey lock on. Him and shocked and Mandula too.
Rusty and my bun crust too. Lisa turns around, reading Scientific American.
The subson and Mo lean back and gasp. We see Icaspus P.S. but not of Maud.
An anticipatory tiny Maud.
Steins emotionless and gay for all amounts.
Lisa, add me on singing man. You exploited people's deepids still afed.
Nudge unconvincingly bevat. Percent schmaltz blue suit man soosters.
Wiggum rubs high his belly.
Long spindly mud.
Front runners but equals till
Them.
the end.
Yeah, and well done, guys. That was good. That was a delightful, if somewhat hard to follow song. And how long is it going to take us, Jeff, to get to the end of space time?
Oh, no time at all. Ha 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 ha.
How long actually?
About a week.
That's good. 3 weeks shorter than the amount of time we spent in that casino.
Oh yeah, it's I'm looking forward to getting to the edge of space time finally. But what episode 50? Can you believe it? Next episode.
Wow. Monumental.
It's
We have
monumental.
something special planned for episode 50.
Good. Don't give too many spoilers though. Bye
No.
everyone.
See ya. It's about Maud.